Call the meeting to order. Those who care to, please rise for an opening prayer. Salute to the flag. Dr. Ward, would you open us in a word of prayer, please, sir?
Father, as is my general rule, I come before you, first of all, thanking you for the blessings that you give to this community. And I thank you for the men and women who serve this city. And then I pray for wisdom for the leadership of this city and for our schools. And sometimes we just need courage to follow through on what's in the best interest of everybody. And I pray for that wisdom and courage. And then as we go through this meeting tonight, give us guidance. And we ask this in the powerful name of your Son. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A few announcements directly to council tonight. Lynn Hollinsworth's birthday is August 29th. Make sure you wish him a happy birthday. Chief, don't forget his birthday again.
Come up once a year.
That's the problem. Employee swim night is Tuesday night. Council is asked to serve judges for the dessert contest. Council members, I kind of need to know, so does Brenda, who's going to attend and be dessert judges? Don't all raise your hand at once. Brenda can write them down. Anybody? There's two. Anybody else?
I'll probably do that.
Mr. Harder?
I need swimming suit.
Please. More than three of us will die.
We do have decency laws here in this public.
I'm definitely not coming.
Thank you, Mr. Singer. Thank you for that vote of confidence. Man, I'm telling you.
You got a visual, didn't you?
Man, I'm speechless.
What are you saying?
Also, council yearly meeting with Greene County Commissioners is scheduled for Thursday, September 1st. That is our yearly meeting with them, with the addition of Presiding Commissioner V. Brock as new Presiding Commissioner. We're going to have our open discussion again with them this year. I would like to also call Brenda if you plan to attend that one. I encourage everybody to attend. That is always a good meeting. The department heads will be there from the Greene County, and the Greene County Commissioners will be there as well. And of course, all of us and anybody at the public would like to attend. That will be on September 1st. On September 22nd, Richard Sheets with MML will be here to speak to the council, our Planning and Zoning Board, and our Board of Adjustments. We're all going to meet together. That will be at the Center at 6 p.m. on September 22nd, about a month from now. Please plan to attend that as well. That is a meeting that we are all going to make sure we everybody on Planning and Zoning knows who's on Board of Adjustments, who knows on City Council, plus it will give Richard Sheets time to educate all of us on some procedures, processes that we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. So please plan on making that on your schedule. Council pictures will be taken on September 12th at 6 p.m. at City Hall. If you're not available for that, please contact Brenda. She will get with you on that one. And let's see. Moving on to Mayor's Appointments Announcements. I would like to reappoint to the Republic Housing Authority. Steve Locamp, Commissioner. His appointment will expire on August 15th, 2016. Need a motion?
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Also, I'd like to reappoint Alice Womack, Commissioner. Appointment to expire on 8/15/2013. Need a motion?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. I'd like to open a public council of the City of Republic, Missouri regarding setting the 2011 tax levy for the City of Republic, Missouri. I'd like to open that hearing. Would you give us the overview, sir? Was that you?
No, that's actually Brenda. You want to give it, or would you like it from me?
I'll let you do that.
All right. This is our tax levy for 2011. We need to get this in prior to September 1st of this year, and if Pete were here, he would give us this information, but since he's not, he's left it with himself to make sure we follow through, and he was very thoughtful to make sure we didn't miss this. Of course we wouldn't, but the difficult thing is we get this information extremely. We just got it last week and worked through the information, and of course we have to have the public hearing, and then later on in the agenda we have to have an ordinance approved, and the ordinance is going to need 2 reads, and we need to get that completed, like I said, before September 1st, so we'll need to do an emergency second read if that is okay. But you'll see in the exhibit that's in front of you the assessed valuations for both our properties within Greene County and the little bit that we have within. Based on those assessed valuations that we got from the county, we can then back into our tax rate. So you'll see the valuation for Greene County on the residential properties is $110,557,220. Agricultural properties at $500,490. Commercial property, $36,768,600. Which is the local share of the railroad, is $6,577,440, and then commercial state railroad $923,523, for a total assessed valuation for 2011 of $327,303, and then Christian County, which everyone knows is just that small Island Green, that's a residential, mostly residential, and that assessed at $1,836,240, and the agricultural assessment is $760 for a grand total of $1,837,000. The second page of the exhibit proposed 2011 tax rates, and you'll see because of the Hancock Amendment that these have actually decreased from 2000. In total, we have a general revenue tax rate of .4090 for our park, which is a separate item, that is .1101, and then our street light fund is .0629 for a total of .582. That compares with .5979 from 2010. Estimated revenue, which is what is important, $913,019 is what the total amount will be projected for next year. With this approval tonight, reported onto the state, and everything will be recorded in time.
I'd like to open it up now to anyone wishing to speak against this particular public hearing. Please sign in and give us your best 3 minutes. Against this particular public hearing, please step forward, state your name, sign in, and give us your best 3 minutes. Seeing none, public hearing closed. I'd like to open it up now to citizen participants. Anyone wishing to speak to anything not on the agenda, please step forward, state your name, sign in, give us your best 3 minutes. Mr. Long, you're here. Welcome, Representative Thomas Long.
Thank you, Mayor and Councilman, and wanted to give you a little bit of update on what's going on up in Jeff City. Sometimes what's not going on up in update, but we'll leave that as it is. Redistricting, as you know, from the census that occurs every year, we've grown quite a bit in Southwest Missouri, and the District 134 is approximately 9,500 to 9,700 people. And so the 134th will be significantly different when the courts get done with it. And I say when the courts get done, no surprise when you have a 10-member commission or a 20-member commission split up evenly between the parties. Somehow they could. And so both on the House and the Senate side, the redistricting will be decided by the courts. Generally speaking, the courts do not look at the maps that have been submitted and as testimony, and they usually will work off of that. Having said that, agreement that the 134th will no longer go north of 44, except to take in what little bit of Republic lies north of 44. The district goes north of Republic Road in Springfield. They won't go north of Republic Road. That it'll go from Campbell or there, come over, sweep across Battlefield, Republic, and stop at the line and encapsulate. That's kind of the general consensus of where they think that it will go. The area north of 44 is likely to be slated. Southwest Missouri is going to get 3 new districts in it that will be moved from the eastern portion of the state. We expect one in Greene County, one in Christian County, and certainly that bodes well for us as long as we can represent Southwest Missouri and Jefferson City in gaining 3 more. The budget is, in a word, looking brutal. It was looking tough before, we have received updates from Chairman Sylvie on what our budget situation is looking like. We are meeting. We are, currently talking and trying to think of ways. It's our sincere desire to manage the budget, taxes or fees or providing local municipalities with unfunded mandates. That's not our desire whatsoever. We were able to do that last year. So this year. Now that brings us to the disasters that have occurred, and of course the one that we think about most is Joplin. Acres of farmland that were flooded. The numbers that we're getting in there are 300 million plus. Certainly, we don't even have a number for Joplin yet. We do have a rainy day fund. It's got $500 million in it. Using the rainy day fund is that by statute, by law, when the voters set up the rainy day fund, they also required us to pay that back with interest. Now, I'm not sure why the state will pay itself interest, to start with, but we do not see, just pick a number, $250 million out of the rainy day fund to help Joplin and to help the farmers in the disaster, how we will then 3-year period. And so when you hear about the rainy day fund, know that we're constrained and we're looking for changes in that as to how and make it more usable, because if we cannot use the rainy day fund with the year that Missouri has had, then why in the world have it? Take care of our obligations to our farmers and to those in Joplin. You may be hearing about the special session. Hopefully will be called by the governor within a very short period of time, and the reason why I say that is because we're all expecting it, but we're right now, I can't tell my employer when I can work in September. And because we know we're going to have a special session, we know we're going to have a veto session, and is likely to occur other than it's supposed to happen around veto session. What will be discussed primarily that fell apart in literally the last minutes of session, contained within that is to the tune of about $1.5 billion of tax credit reform over a 10-year period. Now, most is the circuit breaker. Is everybody familiar with the circuit breaker? What's referred to as the circuit breaker. That is where the population gets to take a deduction off or a tax credit even though they're renting. And that will disproportionately our senior population. And so that's of huge contention, not as big as in Kansas City and St. Louis, but that's probably where you're very, very likely to hear the fight go when we talk about tax the largest portion of it. And then we will be having veto session. I believe veto session is the 13th. I don't think that would impact you, that we're looking to override the governor's veto on. They're more statewide issues than they are local issues. to maintain communication. As you guys get going, please, any agenda items that you think in the upcoming session, which will start in January, please relay those to us, and we'll be happy to take a look at them. And know the overarching theme in Jeff City is local control. Now, that's not local unfunded mandate. We want to stay away from those. But local control should come into local control, and you're constrained by state statute. We'd really like to take a look at those. So I think I went over.
Any questions for Representative Long, Council? Anything at all?
Can I throw one thing out to him?
You can.
He is aware of this, but he's also here to wish you a happy birthday.
That was coming up.
Oh, thank you.
Just on camera, that he was really here because this is your birth. Well, not yours. It's September 2nd, and anybody want to guess age?
Well, we know how old he is.
It is the mayor's happy birthday. We want to. I don't have some big, huge state proclamation. Certainly, I understand the sacrifices that you folks make, and I at least get.
Is that
I imagine sometimes the election is one of those please step forward and everybody else steps back type situation. Sometimes is the to the mayor. And thank you for what you guys do for the City of Republic.
Representative Long, thank you for coming. We always appreciate you giving us updates, and we'll call you. And I encourage everybody out there in your district to call you if they have questions.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
No, I'm not 64. Thank you very much. Years. Anybody else wishing to speak during citizen participation to anything not on the agenda? Please step forward, state your name, and sign in. Seeing none, citizen participation closed. I will tell you a quick story. I was in Jim's office the other day. Birthday cards on his desk, and usually I just pick them up and sign them. So I picked up the first one and signed it, and wrote some things on there, and picked up the second one. To me, the mayor, on it, so I wished myself a happy birthday. So I just wanted to let you know that, Shane. There's at least one wish on it. There's one wish on it. I know. I saw him. There's some of them maybe they're wishing on it. I hate to see what Daniel wishes me to do. Moving on, need a motion on the consent agenda.
Motion, second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Chris, you will give us a quick update on the financial report. And if you have questions on the financial report.
You will see $116,729 is what is in this report. These are your unscheduled expenses, and two of the larger items you'll see $36,118.27 for fire. About $35,000 of that was purchases made through the Fire Act grant that we had already been approved for and reimbursed on. $28,194 for animal control. That would be a big item there would be the purchase of the vehicle. The rest of the items are, more of your daily operating expense type things and maintenance items that the departments have run through.
Questions, comments, discussion, council on the financial report for Mr. Christie. Anything at all? Need a motion to approve financial report?
Motion.
Second. Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Future community events, August 27th. There, by the way, there's not any reports from Mr. Christie or Mr. Darrison. Future community events, August 27th, the Republic City of Hope will be held at the Republic Community Center. August 31st is the adult volleyball registration that begins on September 1st, 8th, 15th, 22nd, and 29th. Toddler tumbling is from 5:30 to 6:15 or 6:45 to 6:30 p.m. And where's it located, Jared?
Activities building upstairs.
Activities building upstairs. September 2nd, Schools Out program for ages 6 to 12. Contact the Parks Department for more information at 732-3500. September 2nd is also the last day to register for girls 3rd through 6th grade basketball clinics. Clinics will be on September 3rd. Contact the Parks Department for information. September 5th is Labor Day. City offices will be closed. September 9th to 23rd is Toddler Story Time, 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. That's a free event. No registration required. September 12th, Youth Fall Volleyball registration begins. Also on September 12th, the Arthritis Exercise Program begins. That's on Tuesdays 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. and Thursdays at 10 to 11 a.m. September 12th, 19th, and 26th is Toddler Open Gym, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. September 13th, 20th, and the 27th is Informative Senior Coffee Breakfasts. Enjoy coffee, a light snack, and fellowship while gaining information on a topic of business from our community. That's from 10 to 11:15 a.m. Where's that, Jared?
Once again, Community Center.
Once again, the Community Center. Also on September 14th, 21st, and the 28th, Messy Munchkins, 10:30 to 11:30. Pre-registration is required, Daniel. On September 16th through the 18th, Republic Steam Engine Days. Also on September 16th is a senior citizen trip headed to Branson to eat at the Golden Corral and shopping at the Tanger Outlet Mall.
You should like that.
Pre-registration is required again. September 17th is Parents Night Out, 5 to 9. September 22nd, adult volleyball season begins. September 26th, adult men's basketball registration begins. And September 29th, senior movie, 2 p.m., free popcorn and coffee. Jared?
The New True Grit.
The New True Grit is the movie. That should be enjoyable. October 1st is Pumpkin Days. Board Committee and Commissioners reports. Board of Adjustments September 1st. Capital Improvements is September 20th. City Council September 12th and September 26th. Planning and Zoning September 19th. On to old business. Need a motion to approve. To have a second reading of Bill number 11-18.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, authorizing the city administrator to enter into an interlocal agreement between the City of Springfield, Missouri and the City of Republic, Missouri regarding the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act Multi-Jurisdictional Cybercrime Grant, MJCCG, Justice Assistance Grant, JAG, Program Award.
Need a motion to have final approval of Bill number 11-18.
Motion. Second.
Motion and second. Welcome, Chief Lowe. Please give us an overview, sir.
Well, basically, we're asking for the City Council to approve this interlocal agreement. It basically is a renewal of an agreement we currently have in existence with the City of Springfield for the grant that's in place from last year. And in this year's, there was a total award of $73,000, and we're going to get $16,785. And with that, that will enable us to have one of our investigators trained in the computer cybercrime world of catching pedophiles or other people that are sharing child pornography and things on the internet, and will also allow us to purchase the software and other types of equipment that we've used to do that otherwise we would not be able to pursue.
Questions, comments, discussion for Chief Lowe? Anything at all? Roll call vote.
Councilmember Harrelson? Aye. Councilmember Poole?
Aye.
Councilmember Ward?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Councilmember Hunsinger?
Aye.
Councilmember Grooms?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilson?
Aye.
Councilmember Klinkenberg?
Motion carries 8-0. On to the next item. This item has been tabled. Need a motion to remove from the table.
Motion to remove. Second.
I have a motion to remove from the table and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Need a motion to have the second reading of Bill number 11-19.
Motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, amending Title IV Land Use, Chapter 410 Subdivision Regulations for the City of Republic Article 2, minor subdivisions, Section 410.110, minor subdivisions, by amending a regulation concerning the limited employment of minor subdivisions.
Need a motion to approve Bill number 11-19.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Welcome, Mr. Tyson. Please give us the overview.
Good evening. As we've discussed before, this ordinance will, in a sense, expand property owners' ability to use minor subdivisions. Right now, we have what I call the one-and-done rule, where you can do one minor subdivision and you can't do any more after that. However, there are cases where you could do a minor subdivision and still, under the rest of the code, the rest of the stipulations that would qualify you for a minor subdivision, you can still meet all those, but because of the one-and-done rule, you wouldn't be able to use the minor subdivision process. So what this ordinance will remove that one-and-done rule and instead put the limit on you can create 4 or fewer parcels by however many minor subdivisions you need to get there. But you can't create any more than 4 in order to prevent property owners from circumventing the major subdivision process. They will, however, have to meet all of the other stipulations to qualify them as a minor subdivision. At the last council meeting, we had quite a bit of discussion about, since we are expanding the availability of minor subdivisions, what would be the appropriate and responsible way to be approving these. And so, based on some of the comments that were made at the last meeting, we have an amendment, if council desires. We've written up an amendment that was in a city attorney memo in your packet that would, we think, address a lot of council's concerns, if they still have those concerns. And what that amendment would do would be for those property owners who, I think Ron said it best, who want to take a second bite at the apple, who want to get another minor subdivision after they've already had one. Those minor subdivisions would come before council. The first one would still be staff approved as it is right now. But the second bite of the apple would come to council as a resolution, and council would approve that, authorizing a member of staff to sign the plat and have it recorded at the Greene County Recorder's Office.
Questions, comments, discussion from Mr. Tyson? We had some discussion from the last meeting. Excuse me, sir.
So at what point would you propose to make?
Whenever council so chooses.
Then I would like to move that upon a request that we add the following sentence to paragraph. Upon a request for a second minor subdivision of a tract or parcel previously subdivided into fewer than 4 new tracts or parcels, council may authorize staff resolution to execute a subsequent minor subdivision that otherwise meets the minor subdivision requirements.
I have a motion on that. I have a motion and a second. All of the motion to amend, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Let's try that again. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries 8-0. Additional questions, comments, discussion from Mr. Tyson.
Can I add, I just want to add a couple things, is that all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. At last meeting, Garrett was correct about the conversation of adding an addition of having the council approve that second bite at the apple is what we've been calling it. But one of the other things that was discussed at the last meeting, would this ultimately change when we get around to doing a new zoning code or, subdivision regulations? And potentially I've got, and I can pass this around for everybody, we have been, I think we've mentioned this before, we have used the City of Raymore as our template. They've just gone through a extensive code revision similar to what we're attempting to do, and we have been using their new code as a guideline for us to follow and moving forward. What I'm doing now is just a small section in there that is what they currently use for minor subdivisions. It's different than what we do. It's more What Ron has been saying that we need to do over time is to have this go through the approval process. At the end of the day, it still gets completed. It'll just change the process by which this goes through. What's been proposed tonight with the amendment is a way that we can bridge that gap for council to do their approval from when something comes forward a second time. But I just wanted to answer those questions, if there were any, about where we're heading. In my report also, I put in there attached, you'll find a copy of the zoning code that we've been working on. I underestimated how many pages a copier could work. This is a copy that I have. You will all get a copy in your box in the next day or two, but I had no idea it would take as long as it did. But this is what we have been working on to revise our code. It's not as daunting as it may look, but it definitely. But you'll get that, and I just wanted to clarify in my report it said you'd have it. It'll be there shortly. But
You can have it if you want.
you can certainly have it, but this is what we pulled out of it, and this is more than likely the direction we will recommend to council when we get to it. But this is a compromise and something that will address some of the concerns that council had last meeting.
Additional questions, comments, discussion from council?
Well, like I brought up last meeting was the new zoning that you're working on. Will this be covered under that, this amendment?
Well,
or will it encompass? Will that encompass what we're talking about here?
If I'm not mistaken, the new plan will be a new plan, and we'll be able to amend how we want to amend. It'll be presented in a different light, it may have different. This amendment kind of puts a stopgap on where we are now, where we want to be, and in the future, if we want to continue and add that, build that into our code when they look at the code, then that's exactly what you can have added in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Questions, comments, discussion from Mr. Tyson or Mr. Krischke to do his legwork on this. I know a couple of you had questions you got to see. Tyson, certainly appreciate your time to come in and discuss your thoughts on that. Those are always appreciated. And if there's other questions, comments, you guys have an opportunity when we have something like this to come in and talk to Mr. Krischke. We had 2 council members that took advantage of that and did have some, and those have been addressed, and we certainly appreciate that. So please feel free to contact Mr. Krischke if there's other questions on other like items. Any additional comments, discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, sir.
Councilmember Clinkenberg.
Aye.
Councilmember Wilson. Groom.
Aye.
Councilmember Hunsinger. Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Councilmember Ward.
Aye.
Councilmember Poole. Councilmember Harrelson.
Motion carries 8-0. On to the next item. Need a motion to have the second reading of bill number 11-21.
Motion. Second.
I have a motion.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries.
An ordinance of the City of Republic, Missouri, authorizing and directing the city administrator of the City of Republic, Missouri to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with the Tri-State Fire
Need a motion to approve bill number 11-21. Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Welcome, Chief Compton. Please give us an update, sir.
Council meeting, several fire departments have joined or formed this alliance several years ago. We were kind of waiting to see how it would work out before we. This will kind of streamline our testing and our testing process for hiring. There's a one-time fee of $1,250 that we're out. The test third party, which is not something that's currently done here in the city. Talking with the city administrator, Mr. Krischke, we feel this is a positive. There's some things that they test that we currently don't test for. Their physical agility test is held in an inside controlled environment where we did one time in an ice storm, and that wasn't real pretty. But they all signed a release of a waiver to the city. Yeah, it's a good test. All of that. Also on the back, there is a psychological profile that the candidates have done on them when they take the test, which we currently when we hire somebody, whether it's for the fire department or the police department, we invest a lot of money in that employee to get them up to speed. Invest money in the hiring process and then have them hang around for a couple of weeks or a day or two and quit us, because we've gone through where we're at, and this will streamline that.
Questions, comments, discussion for Chief Compton? Anything at all? Roll call.
Councilmember Harrelson? Aye. Councilmember Poole?
Aye.
Councilmember Ward?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Councilmember Hunsinger?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilson?
Aye.
Councilmember Clinkenberg?
Aye.
Motion carries 8-0. On to new business. Number 11-22. I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Mr. Krischke, please give us an overview, sir.
Okay.
The first overview didn't work.
The first overview didn't work, we'll do it again, but, that we need to pass this evening, yes.
Hold on.
We didn't read it yet. Brenda?
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, setting the 2011 tax levy for the city.
All right, Jim, now.
I was just so excited, I couldn't help myself.
Your turn. It's not your fault, it's my fault. I went right in.
Just covering for you.
I'm pretty
blaming the
sure.
city clerk, you know?
He's another real overseer.
Oh.
Them, not you.
Oh, whatever. Anyway, the numbers and figures have not changed minutes ago. This is just the actual ordinance that we need to pass this evening. It does need to be in the hands of the state. And because the information comes to us extremely late, if you remember, the same thing has happened year after year, and the actual tax rate in time for the meeting. So we have to use last year's tax rate and then adjust it when those figures come in. It's been a little faster this year, and they've given us the information, so we were able to actually put the tax rate for next year, so you'll know what it is. And again, it's on the general fund, it's .4090. On the park fund, it's .110. And it's .0629 for a total of .5820. Our tax revenue that estimated amount will be $913,019. That is actually going to be capped this year at 1.5 CPI that we've been given from the state. That could change a little bit, but between now and the end of the year, but that's what they're estimating the CPI will be, and that will be our tax cap in essence. So again, we ask for emergency second read so we can get this passed and forwarded on to the state.
Questions, comments, discussion? Mr. Krischke, this is first read. Anything at all? Mr. Krischke and staff have asked for an emergency second reading. I will need a motion for that.
Motion for emergency second reading.
Second. I have a motion and a second for emergency second read. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
No, opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. We'll move right on to the second reading. Need a motion to have the second reading of bill number 11-22.
Motion?
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, setting the 2011 tax levy for the City of Republic, Missouri.
Need a motion to have final approval of bill number 11-22.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Mr. Krischke, do you want to give us another overview, or are you okay?
You okay, Brenda, if I go? Okay. Yeah, it really just so that we stay in compliance here with the second read. Again, the proposed tax rate for next year will be, overall between general fund, parks, and street will be .5820. That will actually be a decrease from the 2010 tax rate, which was .5979, so the tax rate has gone down, and that's really due to the Hancock amendment. Anticipated revenue for 2011 will be $913,019. And the tax cap that we will more than likely see, it'll wait until the end of the year, but it's projected at 1.5%.
Comments, questions, discussion from Mr. Krischke? Anything at all? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Councilmember Harrelson? Aye. Councilmember Poole? Aye. Councilmember Ward?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Councilmember Hussinger?
Aye.
Councilmember Grooms?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilson?
Aye.
Councilmember Clinkenbeard?
Aye.
Motion carries 8-0. On to the next item on the new business. Need a motion to have the first reading of bill number 11-23.
Motion?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstention? Motion carries.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, authorizing the execution of a peak flow voluntary compliance agreement with the Missouri Department of Natural Resources.
Thank you, Brenda. Mr. Brock, welcome. Please give the council an overview.
Mayor, I'd like to start with a little visual aid here, if I could. Handing out is just a basic flow diagram of the treatment plant. Quick rundown of your investment out at the treatment plant. All flow comes in at the top, influence screening. Our normal process follows the right side of the page. Grit and grease removal, nutrient removal, biological treatment, a settling basin or clarifier, sand filtration, UV disinfection. Technically, that's referred to as our outfall 001. This is what we use day in, day out. We're permitted for 3.2 million gallons per day. When things get hectic, and the fellows can push a little bit more than that. The left side of the page is our peak flow clarifier, and that's the subject of the compliance agreement that the council was looking at. This piece of equipment is utilized after large rain events. We see a storm surge into the system. That additional flow is diverted off at the headworks and runs through a clarifier. Again, it's a basic settling basin and referred to as outfall 002 in all our permitting and attached information. That facility can run about 7.6 million gallons per day. How often do we use outfall 02? Depends on the weather. In the dry years, 2005, 2006, 2 or 3 times in a year. In a wet year, 2008, 2009, went into service 16 times in 2008. So it is very directly related to the amount of rainfall. The purpose of the voluntary compliance agreement came about when the state of Missouri changed their regulations and, for all practical purposes, outlawed the continued use of our peak flow clarifier. That was done in 2010. Republic was somewhat of a poster child through that process. We had a facility that was built just a few years earlier, 2001, that we'll be paying on through 2021. So as a compromise, in order to get this through the Clean Water Commission and enacted as a rule, the DNR staff made a commitment that they would come up with some sort of agreement that would allow affected communities like Republic the opportunity to spread the pain out over a number of years, so to speak. What you have in front of you is a result of about 18 months of stakeholders meetings up in Jeff City. It's a agreement that came out of their permitting office that essentially would allow Republic to continue to use this facility for up to 10 years under certain conditions. The biggest one is, of course, that we put the financial backing behind
make all the other components of the agreement work. If we do use the clarifier, that's reported to the Southwest office. The two biggies, the last two bullet points there, we come up with a plan with how we're going to decrease reliance on this peak flow clarifier. That needs to be submitted with 1 year. The plan will include milestones as to certain work on an annual basis or large capital improvements, and then over the course of the 10 years we meet the milestones that we turned in our plan. In negotiating the terms of this agreement, there wasn't a lot of negotiating to be had. If you've seen bills today, there was another payment out to our special counsel, Terry Satterley. Her biggest issue with the agreement was how it was referred to in our discharge permit, and her issue is that it wasn't technically part of our permit. So she was successful in getting them to modify the permit so that it has a formal standing. We did attempt to make some minor changes to the language. I think the attorneys call it. However, the state was just unwilling to make any changes. They have already executed a number of these. The permitting staff feels that the mechanics of it are such that if we need to go back and modify our plan or modify our timetable, the wording of the agreement has that in there. The biggest issue that we saw compliance agreement was the 1 year requirement to come up with our plan, our bypass elimination plan. Really, negotiations on the agreement ended back in the 1st of June, and we asked them for the summer so that we could jumpstart the timetable on preparing that. The next item agenda is a contract agreement with Olson Associates to prepare our bypass elimination plan. We have to do this one time. It is pretty comprehensive analysis, so a year is pretty tight. So by bringing these to the City Council in tandem, we can be assured that we'll have as much time as we need to do the analysis on the wastewater system and the wastewater plan to come up with a report, a submittal to DNR that fits the community. The last thing we want to do is commit to something that we really don't think we can pull off. So take the whole year to come up with a plan and make sure it's the best one for this community.
Questions, comments, discussion for Mr. Brock?
How's annual progress measured?
That is up to us. We set what the annual progress is, and it's going to be difficult for them to, one of the components is we show a decreasing reliance on the clarifier, where again that's directly related to rainfall. So we're still going to have to take that into consideration. I would note that the council's made one of the biggest steps already, and that is of the 5-year rate plan that we did back at the 1st of July. That had preliminary estimates for implementing this elimination plan, bypass elimination plan, already included in there. So very comfortable our first 5 years of this term of the agreement will have make progress towards whatever our recommendation is, whatever comes out of our study.
Questions, comments, discussion for Mr. Brock? Additional? Again, council, this is a first reading. If there are questions or need for clarification, please contact Mr. Krischke with comments, and he will get with Mr. Brock and the proper individuals on staff to get those questions answered. Thank you, Mr. Brock. Business, resolutions, and discussions. Resolution number 11-R-46, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, in execution of an engineering services contract with Olson and Associates for the preparation of a bypass elimination plan. Need a motion?
Motion. Second.
Motion and a second. Mr. Brock, please give us the overview.
Mentioned in the previous item, or the previous agenda item, this is one of the main requirement in the compliance agreement, that we analyze our existing system, evaluate how to reduce the extraneous flows in the sewer system, and come up with a schedule for making improvements. The biggest part of that is, or a very large part of that is a reliance on existing studies. John Forster here tonight with Olson Associates. Craig Lusby also, I forgot to mention Craig at the first agenda questions. Craig might need to help me on that. But one of the ways to ease the analysis is to be able to rely on existing studies. Olson, as the successor to Scott Engineering, did a substantial I&I study in 1996. Of course, they did the design for existing. So they were in a unique position to be able to utilize all of that historical data to put us well on the road of preparing this bypass elimination plan. We do anticipate this to be a 9-month process between existing records, more field investigation, and then analyzing where best to spend those public dollars. Bullet pointed of the general description of what the compliance agreement asks for. Would note that the not to exceed cost on this contract, $70,300, and we did anticipate completing that this year, and the council has appropriated $80 towards this expense. We do anticipate coming back to the council with an addendum. Part of the investigative work is monitoring, where we put measuring instruments down in the sewer system and measure the increased flow during rainy periods. What we set up in this base contract is Olson will look at a number of different contractors that are out there that provide this information, other pieces of equipment and ways to gather the data, and we'll come up with something that covers a significant part of town and bring that and they will be subcontractors to Olson.
Questions, comments, discussion from Mr. Brock? 9 months, that's fine. Is that 3 months? A little truncated to come up with a plan? Is it a year long?
Hope to have our plan submitted in 9 months, so we've got 3 months of comfort.
You're talking about submitted, not finished.
That's correct.
That clarification. Thank you. Additional questions, comments, discussion from Mr. Brown? Anything at all? All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Brown. Resolution number 11-R-47, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, authorizing the Fire Department to pursue FEMA Fire Act Grant 11. Need a motion?
Motion. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Welcome, Chief Compton. Please give us an overview, sir.
This is the grant that we've applied times and been awarded, and this year the FEMA's priorities are breathing air compressors that we wear with our air packs, and nozzles is some of their priorities that they would like to fund. The current breathing air compressor that we use is right at 19 and a half years old. When I had it serviced this year, you know, it was in really good shape, but they've kind of brought it to our attention that no longer are making parts for it. So when it breaks down, it's the end of the line. We're looking to replace that. We're looking at about $31,900, and we can do it the hard way. I'm going to try to do it the easy way and get apply for it on the grant where we pay 5% out. It's a 95.5. The breathing air, the mask, it's kind of a hygiene deal. Had it happen, we only have one mask per pack. Each person shares a mask, and we had it happen today where the guys were doing training, got a call. Come back and they were like, whose mask is this and whose mask is this? You know, you probably wouldn't want to wear a mask that Daniel had on, and Daniel probably wouldn't want to
mask in a room without cleaning it. We've had that happen, so we're trying to get each person fit tested and have their own mask that they take care of. And a couple of the other, or the last items that we were going to apply for there is a couple of monitors to set up that are unmanned on large events where if we were in a tank or a gasoline fire that we can set these up, walk away and leave them and let them flow water and not have staff that are in harm's way. The amount we're applying for will be $74,300. If we're awarded, the feds will kick in $44,935. $2,365.
Questions, comments, discussion for Chief Compton? Chief Compton, I have one. The old
Compressor?
Yes, and don't tell me eBay.
No, we're going to use it until it dies.
Craigslist.
Place govdeals.com. Actually, if we were awarded the grant, and you got to realize when we're getting your working 18 months out, a year to 18 months out. And the scary part about this, the federal government is in such turmoil. This project is entitled, but it hasn't necessarily been funded. And it wouldn't surprise me if in the next few weeks if they get back up there and they just do away with it totally. And start the grant process, or the whole team to start the grant process and go on. If we were awarded, we would probably try to trade that compressor parts to whoever we buy our other one from to get them to take it in on. It has some value, and there's going to be some like us that's going to have one that breaks down sometime, and they may be able to get enough parts and pieces off one to get the other one running.
Okay, fair enough. Question?
And just so you know, that compressor runs at about 4,700 PSI. It's not you enter your air tube or your car tar up with. It's pretty high pressure.
To say the least. Comments, discussion, council? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions? Motion carries. On the next item. 1-R-48, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, and entering into a memorandum of understanding with the City of Springfield, Logan Rogers Fire Protection District, Chadwick Fire Protection District, Battlefield Fire Protection District, Anixa Fire Protection District, Fairgrove Fire Protection District, West Republic, and the Billings Fire Protection District to apply for a regional grant. Need a motion?
Motion. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Chief Compton, please give us the overview, sir.
From FEMA as well. A couple of months ago, you may remember we entered into an MOU with the City of Springfield to on a regional grant to replace our radio coming up to be outdated. This is along the same line. You can have a couple of regional grants per region, but only one party can host the regional grants. So Springfield's hosting the regional grant for the radios. Chief Hall with Springfield Fire Department approached us about hosting the regional grant to replace breathing apparatus. Of the 9 entities listed there, all of us have breathing apparatus that are outdated. And again, trying to work down the road a year to 18 months, ours are nearing the end of service. And if we go to replace them all at once, if I had to replace all 30 of them all at once, if we let them go and didn't work on them a piece at a time, the city's going to be out anywhere from $150,000 to $180,000 one time. And then in about another 10 to 15 years, when the expiration's out on those, we'll have out that money again. So we're chipping away at it slowly. What we have that's coming up that's expired, we're trying to get replaced. Of this grant, this has it's an 80-20, 20% match. For the portion that we would have, the city is approximately $13,000. The grant has a $1 million cap. The vendors, with Mr. Krisky dealing with Marshall Decker, they will receive their payment directly from the fire protection districts in the city of Springfield. That 20% will not come to the city. The other $800,000, if we were awarded at the full amount, when you get into that large of money, we don't have that much laying around that I'm aware of. So the feds will advance us that money. If you have that much, Ms. Poole would like to know about it. The feds will advance us that money in advance, up to about 45 days. And so what happens on these large grants is, we know when, if we're awarded, our shipment will be coming in, we know when we're going to get billed, we'll request the money in advance, and then basically it's a wash. When we get the bill from the vendor, we write a check and send it on through. We can't draw interest on that money or anything like that. If we do, we have to reimburse the federal government for the interest we draw. 8 fire protection districts and 1 municipal fire department all are in this grant. This MOU is basically the same MOU that the city of Springfield came up with that we entered into to replace the radios. Like I said, we were approached by Chief Hall in the city of Springfield to be the host for this.
Questions, comments, discussion for Chief Compton? Anything at all?
And again, we're just putting our in the hat trying to get awarded. It's a long shot. The other one I got a better feel about than this one. This is a long shot.
Nothing wrong with that.
You never know till you ask.
Additional questions, comments, discussion for Chief Compton?
And if it does happen, this is 2012.
Or 13. The federal government, both of these grants were supposed to be released in June or April. That's how slow they are. And even though, like I said earlier, the scary part about this, they may go through the application process and it closes on the 9th of September, and then they may just do away with the whole thing. So, we don't ask, we'll never know.
Mr. Harder?
You say you've got some NCBAs that are outdated?
Mm-hmm.
What are you gonna do in there with those if waiting to hear for the grant?
We're going to wait it out to the last minute, then we'll start putting them in the budget to replace them. And then the government has got such tight restrictions on them, we'll probably just work those out. We can't really do a whole, we really can't sell them or
Right.
scrap.
Additional questions, comments, discussion for Chief Compton? These are all good questions. Anything at all? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you, Chief Compton. At this particular time, we are done with open session. We will be going into executive session. There will not be any open session after our executive sessions, and once we adjourn the executive session, the meeting will be through. However, I need a motion to go into open executive session under RSMO 610.021.1 and RSMO 610.021.3.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Harrelson? Aye. Councilmember Full? Aye. Councilmember Ward?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Councilmember Hudsinger? Councilmember Groom? Councilmember Wilson? Councilmember Clinkinbeard?
Motion carries 8-0. Take a 5-minute recess before we get back into executive session. Thank you very much.